Greetings and welcome to an LGR anniversary thing. Yeah, we're about to hit 16 years of this show existing on YouTube and everywhere else it's been over the years, but primarily a YouTube show ever since June 30th, 2009, when the first LGR episode went up. And yeah, I'm still doing this. I'm still here, still making videos throughout the very bizarre past year it's been. You know, I did not plan to make this video this year. I did like a 15th anniversary thing last year. I'm like, yeah, 16, whatever. Sure, the channel can drive now, but you know, it's just another year. Well, this past year has been nuts, or like the better part of a year. I guess it's been like 8 months-ish since my entire life turned upside down with the stupid hurricane crashing through the home. That whole thing that I've mentioned so many times, I know, but like it's a huge event that really wrecked everything that I think and believe in a way, reinforcing lots of things, changing other things. But it's a weird thing to go and do this job, you know, self-propelling yourself in terms of just wanting to make what you want to make while also balancing it with what the audience wants and the algorithm wants, but then also trying not to get burnt out and doing it all alone too. I mean, it's still just me doing this for 16 years. And so, yeah, it is a weird enough job anyway, but then to go through all that, I don't even know how to describe it. Though at the same time, since the storm and since I got this rental space and I've just been kind of making things here, it's been really fascinating because it's kind of gotten me back to basics in a way and had to simplify, you know, what all I have access to, because all my crap went into storage, what of it survived. And so if I want to cover something, I got to go find it or whatever and maybe get something new to go along with it on eBay sometimes. But mostly I'm digging through and trying to like very purposely choose topics. And that's different. You know, I used to just kind of go down to my collection room and choose whatever. Or maybe put something on the back burner and leave it there. But I don't really have the space or the area to make that kind of workflow happen. So the whole thing was upended. And it's resulted in some pretty good videos, I think, since the storm, you know, trying some new things with like the Computer Chronicles watch-along episodes, which aren't the most popular view-wise, but I love doing them. They're super fun. And doing some retrospectives on things like the Magic Eye stuff that I just did. Been wanting to do that for 5 years and been putting it off. Finally just took the time to do it. And, you know, part of that is kind of tossing aside the schedule, not doing the strict, like, release on Fridays every week. I stuck to this for so long, right? Most of that 16 years, releasing on Fridays. Well, I just said screw all that, because I had to after the storm happened, right? And, you know, things were too unpredictable to hold to any kind of schedule. I don't know about you, but I think that that's resulted in some better videos. And it certainly helped me in terms of spending a little more time with stuff if it needs it. So yeah, in this video, let's just go over how things have been, how things are going, and then how I hope that they will be in the future, because I have some adjustments that I need to make to LGR, to my life, to just some thoughts, some wants, desires. Things are going to change. They have to. And yeah, let's just get into all that. But let's start with the how things have been, with some statistics and analytics, because that's kind of fun, right? It can be. So for instance, I've uploaded over 1,200 videos to LGR in 16 years, which averages, if my math is correct, 1.44 videos per week, which is a very fitting floppy disk kind of number right there. But yeah, 1,200 videos, that is a lot. It doesn't seem like that many, and yet it seems like way more. It's very odd to see that number. I kind of didn't realize until I was looking this up. But yeah, let's here's some other numbers. I don't even know what's in here. Ooh, watch time. Let's see what we got here. Lifetime hours watched. 81,776,941 hours watched. How many is that? That's like 9,300 years that y'all have spent watching my retro nonsense. That's disturbing. Sorry to the productivity of the planet, I guess. And yeah, currently we're at 1,780,992 subscribers. So much more than I ever thought would be possible. So yeah, I genuinely thank y'all for your ongoing support and viewing of all this kind of thing that I do here through thick and thin, I suppose. You know, it's something I'm increasingly grateful for and aware of as time goes on and I get older and things change. It's just one of those, right? Where if I don't maintain some perspective, I think that would be very bad. It's not that I don't have any ambition, it's just that I never thought that it would get to this point, right? Especially not at the beginning. Like, this was all started for fun. It was just me doing videos about old stuff that I was into at the moment in my spare time, and still working a regular day job and whatnot. Did that for years, not making anything on YouTube until the very end of 2012. It was the beginning of 2013 is when I started getting money from partnership kind of stuff. And yeah, it slowly, very slowly evolved into like a real job, and whatever the heck else LGR is at this point. And then it got into just a couple years ago when I moved into the house. I moved out of my little home with most of the LGR stuff in storage going back and forth, and I wanted to get out of there and into a bigger place where I could have the entire lower level of the home just all LGR stuff, like all my collection, my gear, my workspace, and all these kinds of things pretty much just downstairs, and I could have sort of a separate work-life balance instead of having work outside of the home mostly. And that I could have it all in one space, right? All the collection, but just upstairs is for living normal life and downstairs is for LGR. Then I had a hurricane here in the Appalachian Mountains. Hours and hours away and hundreds of miles from the nearest coast, and yet it just came this way and stayed as strong as it did, and just, once in a century kind of storm, whatever they called it. It is what it is. And it was devastating to so many people. And it still is. Like, this place is still, it's going through a lot. And yeah, I guess let's just get into it. Yeah, the past 8 months since the storm have been chaotically unpredictable, to say the least. And to those asking if I'm doing okay, the surface level answer is sure. But the honest answer is that deep down, not really. I'm really grateful, obviously, to be in the position that I'm in. No question. It could be way worse. But, the fact that I have a house that can be rebuilt is great. I got a place to stay here while that's all happening, and a job that's flexible enough to work through it all. But, as huge as that is, and knowing I'm one of the lucky ones, I don't know, ever since those stupid trees cleaved through my home, I feel like I'm on autopilot. Making do each day, doing all right, but never fully processing what's happened. And I've struggled kind of a lot with what in the world I'm going to do about the whole, being LGR thing. Because after seeing how all the tech that I'd accumulated over all the years and all of that work, all this time, it could just all go away in an instant. It forced me to face the reality of how fleeting everything is, stuff and life in general. And just it also reinforced that I am only guaranteed today, and I'm only getting older. And I have to start seriously thinking about what the heck I'm gonna be doing with my life, with videos and beyond from here. Those thoughts are scary and difficult, so I just continued making LGR videos as soon as I could, and for a couple of reasons, right? Obviously it pays the bills, but also just for my own sanity, I guess. As much as I wanted to just fast track the next stage of my life after the hurricane, rebuild and all that kind of stuff, I kind of have no choice but to wait around while things are happening over there, and so I may as well just continue the show, keep it all going, right? I was kind of worried, though, that I wouldn't be able to really do so, or that things would fall apart, not being able to stick to my usual Friday weekly upload schedule and mess with the algorithm, but I guess not. It seems to be just fine. People are still watching, and if anything, it's been kind of positive. Like, the side effect is that I am now able to dedicate more time to a video when it needs it, resulting in me covering some stuff that I've put off for ages since the storm. And even though this place is rather loud at times, among other setbacks, I'm really fortunate that I had a home insurance policy that provided this rental space so I could set up here temporarily. For I guess it'll be going on the better part of a year by the time all is said and done. I'm currently set to move out of here and back to my actual home by August 31st, 2025, but that's subject to change depending on repairs and who the heck knows. And by the way, repairs have been going pretty great so far. I've posted constant updates on the LGR Patreon with monthly LGR wrap-up videos, and those do go into every step of the process if you're curious about that. But to put it briefly here, my insurance has slowly but surely paid for all the necessary repairs to this point, and the house has gone from looking like this to this, which I can't fully express how encouraging that has been to see, at least externally. Inside, it's still a bit of a disaster, and a ton of stuff has to be done still, from flooring to more trim and ceiling and wall paint and restoring one of the bathrooms and lighting and beyond. But yeah, it's extremely uplifting to get as much done as we have in the amount of time as we have, especially knowing there are still many in my area still fighting for insurance payments at all. But on that note, insurance does not pay for everything. I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but it is what it is. You know, they only are gonna take care of what they deem necessary, and any updates or changes that I want to take the opportunity to make, like redoing my old 1970s electrical system, adding additional fixtures, better HVAC and stuff like that. Yeah, it's all out of pocket. Plus there's the money that went to removing dozens of downed trees and piles of storm debris from my property, something insurance didn't cover on my policy, and that alone cost me $52,000 or so. Hence me taking on sponsors cautiously, sparingly, but still sponsors. You know, I've gone through with a couple of sponsors here recently, something I have always been opposed to doing on LGR if I could help it. It's rare that a company even comes along that makes sense to me anyway. And I refuse to take sponsors that either don't fit the theme of the channel, or I can't integrate very well, or I just don't believe in. But however, as much as I hate sponsors, I'd rather do that than ask for money from you all through crowdfunding, especially since I already kind of do that. You know, I just don't actively promote it. The LGR Patreon has been going strong for 11 years now, and I enabled YouTube memberships in 2024, so maybe a year ago. So yeah, y'all are already sponsoring, sort of. You're supporting me, right? And which is why I never posted a video asking for money after the storm. Heck, I'd rather take out a loan than do that. And that's exactly what I've done to pay for some of my house stuff, in addition to the sponsors. Which brings us to the future. And I have two big goals going forward. One is that once my house is finally rebuilt, I want to build a dedicated LGR space, a building of some kind on my own property that I already have, to get everything out of storage. You know, all the stuff I had to put into storage after the storm and what I still had in there. I want to get that all out of there once and for all, as well as have a space to film and work out of too, if at all possible. And two, I want to do more traveling. I need to do more traveling. Not only for thrifting, but like events and things and people I want to visit around the world. I have standing invites to go and make LGR videos in the UK, Japan, the Netherlands, Canada, Germany, Australia, and so many more. And I am tired of waiting around. You know, I'm tired of saying, oh, next year, or oh, for sure, I'll do that someday. Because like someday never comes unless eventually you make someday today, you know? So good grief, these goals require time and cash flow, which is why I've put them off for so long now. But after all that's happened this year, I'm gonna do what I must in order to reshape reality around me in a way that my heart and soul says is right for both me and for this channel. And like, if all that's really stopping me from making these things happen is taking some corporation's advertising budget from time to time, so be it. I'd rather do that than put pressure on regular everyday viewers. I don't want to do that. So yeah, you might see some sponsors here and there going forward. It's definitely not going to become an all the time thing, but yeah, I want to fund some trips. I want to fund an LGR workspace storage area. You know, I think that'll save money overall instead of paying for daggum 3 units of storage every month as I have been doing for years. That's so expensive. Hey, that's about it for this video. And yeah, 16 years of LGR. I don't even know what to say here at the end, except thank you once again. Y'all have genuinely been keeping this going, especially since the storm, but all along the way, you know, not just with monetary stuff, but yeah, every other kind of support, sharing videos, commenting, sending emails, criticism even, you know, helping me become better, and going to events and shows and just reinvigorating me every so often. You seriously put the energy into all of this that I really need to do something like this for 16 years. It's nuts. So yeah, happy to still be here. Hope to still be here for a long time to come. Whether or not houses get destroyed or any of these other plans happen or don't happen, I'm gonna continue doing LGR, because why not? It's fun. And I hope you had fun seeing this bit of a retrospective on myself. Things are so weird right now, but they're continually getting better. And again, I really do appreciate your support and understanding throughout all of this. And I hope you continue to stick around for the future. There are, of course, always other LGR projects in the works, several of which are coming out here pretty soon. And as always, thank you very much for watching.